We all have ways of coping with life's challenges. These shields are called defense mechanisms. They work behind the scenes, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Defense mechanisms are like mental shortcuts. They help us navigate difficult emotions and experiences. Sometimes these mechanisms can be helpful, but they can also hold us back. By understanding these mechanisms, we can start to unravel their impact. And it's about learning to face our challenges with greater awareness and resilience. In this exploration of defense mechanisms, we'll delve into the fascinating world of the human mind. We'll uncover the purpose and function of these mechanisms. From repression to denial, projection to rationalization, we'll break down each mechanism. We'll provide relatable examples to illustrate their impact on our lives. Finally, we'll discuss the important role therapy plays in addressing defense mechanisms. By understanding these mechanisms, we can cultivate greater self-awareness. Imagine your mind as a fortress standing strong against the onslaught of life's challenges. These mechanisms act as psychological shields, safeguarding us from emotional distress, anxiety, and threats to our sense of self. They highlight our innate drive to adapt and survive in the face of adversity. These mechanisms are essential for our psychological well-being. However, like any shield, defense mechanisms can sometimes become a barrier. They can hinder our personal growth and prevent us from forming authentic connections with others. One of the most intriguing aspects of defense mechanisms is their unconscious nature. They operate below the level of our awareness, subtly shaping our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without our conscious control. This hidden operation is what makes them both fascinating and challenging to understand. By filtering or distorting reality, these mechanisms provide a temporary reprieve from emotional overload, allowing us to cope with challenging situations. However, this unconscious operation can also lead to blind spots in our self-awareness. Defense mechanisms exist on a spectrum. They are neither inherently good nor bad. The key lies in finding a delicate balance between protection and self-awareness. When used adaptively, defense mechanisms can be valuable tools for navigating life's challenges. However, when these mechanisms become rigid or overused, they can create more problems than they solve. By increasing our self-awareness, we can recognize when these mechanisms are at play and make conscious choices about how we respond to challenges. Among the many defense mechanisms our minds employ, repression and denial stand out as formidable walls against emotional pain. Repression acts like a mental vault, locking away traumatic experiences, unacceptable impulses, or painful memories. These repressed elements don't simply vanish. They continue to exert their influence from the shadows of our unconscious. Denial, on the other hand, involves a refusal to accept a painful truth. While repression and denial can provide temporary relief from emotional overload, their long-term effects can be detrimental. By avoiding and suppressing difficult emotions, we hinder our ability to process and heal from them. Our minds often resort to clever tactics to safeguard our egos and maintain a sense of self-worth. Projection serves as a psychological pressure valve, allowing us to disown undesirable traits or emotions by attributing them to others. Rationalization involves constructing seemingly logical explanations to justify our behaviors. While projection and rationalization can temporarily alleviate feelings of discomfort or responsibility, they ultimately hinder personal growth. By externalizing blame and justifying our actions, we avoid confronting our shortcomings and learning from our mistakes. This avoidance can lead to a cycle of self-deception and prevent us from developing healthier coping mechanisms and interpersonal skills. Emotions, especially intense ones like anger, frustration, or sadness, can feel overwhelming. Displacement, a common defense mechanism, involves redirecting these emotions from their true source to a less threatening target. Imagine a scenario where an employee is reprimanded by their boss. Feeling angry and humiliated, they bottle up their emotions at work, only to unleash their frustration on their family later that evening. While displacement might seem like a harmless way to vent frustration, it can have damaging consequences for our relationships. It prevents us from addressing the root cause of our anger or frustration, leading to a cycle of unresolved conflict and emotional baggage. Trauma has a profound and lasting impact on the human psyche. Faced with overwhelming experiences, our minds instinctively turn to defense mechanisms as a way to cope with the emotional fallout. Trauma doesn't create defense mechanisms, but it can significantly amplify their presence and intensity. The experience of trauma can leave an indelible mark on our defense mechanisms, shaping how we respond to stress, conflict, and even love in the future. Understanding the interplay between trauma and defense mechanisms is crucial for healing and growth. By acknowledging the impact of trauma, we can begin to dismantle the barriers it has erected and move towards a place of greater resilience and well-being. In the aftermath of trauma, defense mechanisms can act as both protectors and jailers. On one hand, they shield us from the full force of our pain, preventing us from being completely overwhelmed by fear, grief, or shame. On the other hand, they can keep us trapped in a cycle of avoidance and denial, hindering our ability to process the trauma and move forward. The key to breaking free from this double bind is to approach our defense mechanisms with curiosity and compassion. Instead of judging ourselves for our coping strategies, we can strive to understand the purpose they served in our survival. By recognizing their role in our healing journey, we can begin to dismantle them gently and replace them with healthier, more adaptive ways of coping. Dissociation, a complex and often misunderstood defense mechanism, involves a disconnection between our thoughts, feelings, memories, and even our sense of self. While everyone experiences mild forms of dissociation from time to time, for individuals who have experienced trauma, dissociation can become a more pronounced and persistent way of coping. This detachment from reality, while disconcerting, can serve as a lifeline during a traumatic experience, allowing the individual to endure overwhelming pain or fear. However, when dissociation becomes a chronic coping mechanism, it can interfere with daily functioning, relationships, and overall well-being. Depersonalization-Derealization disorder, or DPDR, represents a more chronic and distressing form of dissociation. It's characterized by persistent or recurring episodes of depersonalization, derealization, or both. This sense of detachment from oneself and the surrounding world can be profoundly unsettling, leaving individuals feeling alienated from their own lives. Despite these unsettling perceptions, individuals with DPDR are usually aware that their experiences are not real in the conventional sense. Living with DPDR can be incredibly isolating. Understanding this complex disorder is crucial for providing support, reducing stigma, and encouraging individuals to seek the help they need to reclaim their lives. Depersonalization, a core symptom of DPDR, involves a persistent feeling of detachment from one's own body, thoughts, feelings, and actions. Individuals experiencing depersonalization often describe feeling like a robot, going through the motions of life without truly inhabiting their own experience. Imagine looking in the mirror and not recognizing the face staring back at you, or feeling like your limbs are not your own. This sense of disconnection from oneself can extend to thoughts and emotions. Individuals might feel like they are observing their own mental processes from a distance, as if their thoughts are not their own. Emotional responses might feel muted or absent altogether, leading to a pervasive sense of numbness or emptiness. The experience of depersonalization can be deeply unsettling. It strikes at the core of our sense of self, leaving us feeling fragmented and adrift. Individuals might question their own sanity, wondering if they are losing their minds. They might avoid social situations or withdraw from loved ones, fearing that others will notice their detachment. This profound sense of alienation from one's own being can significantly impact daily functioning. It can interfere with concentration, decision-making, and the ability to experience pleasure or connection. Understanding the nature of depersonalization, its origins, and its impact is essential for developing effective coping strategies and seeking appropriate treatment. Section 3. Derealization, the world through a fogged lens. Derealization involves a feeling of detachment from the external world. Surroundings feel unreal, dreamlike, or distorted. Familiar places might seem unfamiliar or strange. Objects might appear flat, two-dimensional, or lacking depth. Imagine walking down a city street, but sights and sounds seem distant and muffled. Colors might appear washed out, lacking vibrancy. This altered perception can be disorienting. Time perception can be affected, with events feeling sped up or slowed down. Individuals might feel detached, as if watching a movie. Therapy provides a safe space to explore our inner world, understand defense mechanisms, and develop healthier coping strategies. It's a collaborative journey, fostering self-awareness, emotional regulation, and healing. Think of therapy as unlocking a treasure chest, revealing new insights into our minds. The therapist acts as a compassionate guide, helping us navigate emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. They provide a non-judgmental ear, allowing us to express our deepest fears and aspirations. Section 2. Navigating the Inner Landscape. Therapeutic Approaches. Just as there are many paths to the summit of a mountain, there are various therapeutic approaches. Each offers unique tools, tailored to individual needs. Psychodynamic therapy delves into the unconscious mind, exploring hidden forces. Emotion-focused therapy helps individuals identify and regulate their emotions. Solution-focused therapy identifies solutions to current problems. Jason's journey with DPDR. Jason, in his early 20s, sought therapy after feeling detached and unreal. He felt like he was watching his life from a distance, everything seeming strange and unfamiliar. Therapy helped him understand his DPDR, which started after losing a close friend. He learned healthier coping strategies and grounding techniques. Over time, Jason felt more grounded and connected. His journey shows the power of therapy and human resilience. Mapping the mind's defenses. Defense mechanisms were once understood mainly through psychology, explored in therapy. Neuroscience now reveals the brain's role in these processes. Techniques like fMRI show brain regions involved in psychological shields. The amygdala processes emotions, especially fear and anxiety. It triggers stress hormones and the fight-or-flight response. This system is vital for survival. Trauma can make the amygdala overactive, causing anxiety. The prefrontal cortex helps in planning and emotional regulation. It modulates the amygdala's fear response. Extreme stress can overwhelm it, leading to reliance on defense mechanisms. Defense mechanisms are deeply rooted in our neurobiology. Early experiences and mental health, shaping our responses. Early life experiences profoundly impact brain development, shaping emotional responses and coping mechanisms. Caregivers play a crucial role in shaping our emotional landscapes, influencing stress navigation and secure attachments. Children facing chronic stress or trauma develop heightened sensitivity to threats. Their brains become adept at detecting potential dangers, even in safe situations. This can lead to anxiety, trust issues, and reliance on defense mechanisms. Providing safe, nurturing environments fosters healthy emotional development. Early intervention equips children with tools to navigate challenges, promoting resilience. Embracing our defenses, embracing ourselves. Defense mechanisms are not flaws, but integral aspects of the human experience. They show our mind's ability to adapt and strive for balance. Like ancient maps, they reflect our personal histories and coping strategies. Understanding these mechanisms is about cultivating compassion for the human condition. Beneath every defense lies a yearning for safety, connection, and wholeness. Shining a light on these patterns creates the possibility for self-awareness and healing. Therapy offers a safe space for self-discovery and understanding. With a therapist's guidance, we can explore and understand our defense mechanisms. Each step towards understanding and compassion strengthens our resilience, leading to a more fulfilling life.